Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, spiritual global entrepreneurs. Welcome to the EGU podcast, Abundance Frequencies. You're with Michelle Reinhardt. Let's get cracking.
We all know how powerful a person's story is. The weight of it and the weight of which it carries often determines our success. This in itself is a craft, and our guest today is here for 40 minutes in an interactive workshop to help you do just that. We have a treat lined up for you, for those of you that are hunters and adventurers looking to uncover the nuggets in your life and craft a powerful story to stand out and be published. Folks, grab a pen and paper, turn off your zings and pings for 40 minutes. Set the intention to learn how to masterfully craft your story and learn from the very lovely Carrie Severson. Welcome to the show, Carrie.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, it's lovely to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me tell you a little about this lovely lady, guys and gals. Carrie Severson believes so strongly in the power of story. She is a masterful storyteller at bringing stories to light. She is gifted at helping inspiring women craft their stories for the world to see. She does that through her gifts of writing, editing, listening to her intuition, and thanks to her 20-year career in the magazine industry. I'm very keen to hear a little more about that, Carrie. Please do share.
Sure. I started writing for the masses in college. I have a background in journalism. So I call myself a recovered journalist. I wrote about everything from celebrities to politicians to tragedies. But really, my heart has always been in the light. I am an intuitive, and I recognized my intuition, my intuitive gifts some time ago, and it never felt right to compose stories about negativity. So I moved more into the purposeful writing. I'm now what you call a personal essayist. So I write about my love life and my happiness and meditation. And I train women now, women specifically. They are the ones who come to me. They're my soul clients. I help them embrace story, heal story, share their story, and understand the energy of story. That's really where my gift lies. That space in between experiencing the story and crafting it. There's this attachment. Every story has an energy, and I can feel the energy of the story. And so I like helping people change the energy, get into the flow of the story that is going to make the biggest ripple effect in a positive manner, and then find an outlet that will let you put it out in the ethers for the world to see. So
that's beautiful. And how do you do that? Do you do it one-on-one, or do you do it in a group session? What's your preferred?
I put together e-courses. So I actually have automated, self-paced e-courses that teach the soul of storytelling, the starter, the introductory way to start storytelling. I do have group programs. I do have one-on-one work. I have a storytelling Facebook group, and I am sharing lessons in there and hoping to sort of pass on some nuggets about how people can start to recognize their own energy of story. I do a lot of this. I do a lot of mass teachings. So I'm a little bit of it all. I feel like my purpose is to inspire and motivate people to embrace their story, face their story, heal their story, so that as a collective, we can start to embrace and heal and understand each other better. So that can't necessarily happen on a one-on-one basis. It really is meant for the masses.
Yeah, I understand that completely. So how did you start storytelling? Right back from, I know you say you studied journalism and stuff.
Yeah.
What clicked you into this particular niche?
Well, as a child, I was bullied. So I had a wild imagination, and not a lot of self-confidence. And so I felt like the writing was that bridge I had between my make-believe and my safe haven. And so I've always written really personal stuff, short stories, poems. And when I was called to, go off to college, I felt like if I could get involved in the aspect of society that puts a spotlight on where people pay attention and sort of judge themselves and others based on, the media industry, if I could be a part of that and change where that spotlight landed, I might be able to make a difference. And so I did. I went off to journalism school and have been writing for magazines and newspapers for 20 years.
Fantastic. And what's the benefit for
storytelling?
Yeah, for someone and who does it benefit most?
That's a good point. Who does it benefit most? Here's my experience and what my clients are experiencing. And I talk about storytelling from an energetic perspective. So when we share a story, it's a law of attraction tool. We're setting something in motion that has to come back, right? And if we're sharing lessons, painful experiences, and we're out passing on nuggets of information, we're helping others heal, and that's just going to create a ripple effect. So the benefit is massive from an energetic perspective. The law of attraction component kicks in your receiving as a storyteller. So I like to make sure that all my clients have a healthy website up and some sort of captured page, right? So when you're published, your bio links back to your website. People like what you write, they jump on your bio, see your website, join your list. Every time I'm published, my list will increase by an average of like 15 to 20 people, simply by me spending a couple hours putting something personal and positive together out into the world. There's no opt-in other than that piece lying there.
Yes.
So your list increases, gives me an opportunity to create new relationships when I reach out to people and thank them for joining. And more than that, though, what the biggest benefit is the additional opportunities that storytelling brings. So I've been asked to take the stage because of pieces folks have found on the Huffington Post or Mind Body Green. I've been asked to speak at networking events and conferences around the country here in the States. And those opportunities have brought in abundance for me in ways I, never really anticipated. So the benefit is vast. I mean, it goes from helping others heal to infinite possibilities coming back into you as a business owner, new potential partners, increased client list, increased tribe, email list. It really is. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful way for you to get exposure and create that know, like, and trust factor, all from what you've already learned as a human being.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that. And now I'm super excited that we can actually use the story, the law of attraction, the law of the land, the universe, and really get it right. And I love what you say about not being able to write in the negative, because we know now as humans that we get what we think about the most,
right,
in abundance. And if you're writing negative and dreary and dull and hurtful and hateful stuff, you're literally just asking for more of it.
Mm-hmm.
So by drawing on your experience and then putting that spin on it to attract what you do want, it's almost like a manifestation.
It really is. It's so cool. So when I'm working with clients, when I'm working with them one-on-one, because a lot of times what I do is help people break through the fear of being seen and the fear of having your story told, because that is daunting, right? If you've never done it before, your story about a very personal, private experience could be seen by thousands or millions of people. That is a real reality. It's happened. And when you and I are brainstorming an idea as an intuitive, I will feel the energy of it. So if it's something that you're not fully healed, I'll start to get a tickle in my throat. My heart will do something funky. My eyes will sort of flutter. That's an intuitive physical sign that I've developed. So we'll stop and we'll talk about it. If it's something that you aren't fully capable or willing or able to stand out, feeling confident in what you're creating, the time to produce that piece and put it out in the world has not come yet. So we'll continue talking about finding something else. It really does come down to the creation of it from an energetic perspective, and then everything else sort of lines up in place. So from a manifestation perspective, you're manifesting the perfect media outlet to publish this for you, and you're manifesting the right client, the right readers to be attracted to it, who will then funnel back up into you and create new. I mean, it's really cool.
It's very cool. And I'm clicking in right now that the people that are watching, our viewers, will be really ready and very, very clicked into what we're going to bring out for them here. It will be almost like we're sharing their story, because there are no accidents in this world.
No.
And I think it's time we started to play. I will ask our viewers to just pause at this stage if you're not ready with pen and paper, and if you can just please center into your heart space, because nothing good comes when we're in our head and looking in the past. So take a few nice deep breaths and center into your heart space and get yourself nice and strong and grounded. And let's play, Carrie.
All right. So where we start, we're going to start with finding your perfect story. So I want you to think back over the last year of your life, business or personal, and think of one real grounded lesson that you've learned that you know benefited you in a positive manner.
I think I might have just said it in terms of setting up our audience to be grounded and be in your heart space.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, my biggest lesson has been to quit blaming and shaming, and to really sit in the truth and find the essence, the uniqueness within.
The term responsibility comes up a lot right now. Do you use that word often, or do you feel like that's something that you did, like take responsibility of something? Responsibility of your
yes,
thoughts or energy or time. I get the image of like, it's not an image, it's a feeling of where do I want to put my energy today? Do I really want to do that? I would rather do this. Let's learn this.
Well, it's been a journey, the last 15 years in spirituality for me, and responsibility is definitely it. I've been one that has handed my power over plenty of times and not stood in my power, and that's certainly something that I'm beginning to do. In fact, I'm doing it, yeah.
Okay, so if we're going to play with the idea of how I got rooted in my power, or I see an image of a tree and getting grounded. So the term grounded is really powerful for you, obviously. So tell me how you went through that process. How did you learn that?
Oh, wow. Well, for a start, I used to be right in my head and negativity. We've been through a huge amount of financial upset, and I had to find a way to heal my mind and stop that fear and that shame is the word, and to get out of it, to sort of just start digging my way out of it, because I knew, and right in the deepest part of me, that all of that stuff was just a great big story and it wasn't true.
Yeah, so you took responsibility for shaming yourself. You took responsibility for like changing your mindset, or
changing my life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So the lesson here is how you did that, how you changed your life, how you, as we continue talking, I'll be able to hear a headline better. But so you have this overall theme, right? Media outlets, magazines, online publications, they're craving personal essays. They're craving your reaction to your life experiences. They want to know how you learned what you did, what you can pass on to their readers. So every media outlet around the world is looking for us as entrepreneurs to pass on lessons. It's the easiest way for you to get into the publishing industry. So personal essays are what we do, or what we're doing right now, finding a nugget from your life experience that you've learned something positive from, and then breaking it down into a bite-sized slice that is absorbable and digestible for the reader. The best way to do that is through what is known as a listicle. It is really 3 to 5 bullet points of your top learned experiences. So if your overall theme is changing your life, then you would want to bullet out 3 to 5 ways in which you did that. So, so far I've heard get grounded. There's something about mindset and the way you talk to yourself. There's something about finance. What else?
Sinking into your heart and finding that inner truth.
Okay. And then I'm seeing, like, did your social life change, circles or who you spend time with change?
Yes. And I find this, and I know this is going to be resonating hugely with a lot of people. Yes, I have very few people in my life that were there 2 years ago, because I know I needed to hang around with people that were going where I was going. And I started my own online community, which is where I met you. Mm-hmm. And that started bringing entrepreneurs. Yeah, it started bringing people to me, and it allowed me to step up into my leadership power, which I always knew was there, but I was too scared to exercise that muscle. Yeah, so I started listening and acting, but I was also still very fearful about where it would take me, and that it's just the journey of finding yourself, isn't it, and where you belong and what you're here for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that concept of finding yourself. Find yourself. So this is what happens when you say something will get stuck in my head, and then I can't find where it lands or where it fits, but I know it's supposed to be there. So I get this image of you're accepting yourself, changing your energy, changing your mindset. I get the image of like a desert land. I know you live in Australia, so maybe it's like your backyard or something, but you're out in the middle of nowhere, like talking to yourself and finding that comfort and that peace. Did you take a sabbatical or something, or did you go on a long, you hike, you are in nature? Okay, yeah. So tell me about that.
I hike. My backyard is literally a mountain range in Australia and Victoria. And I literally drop the kids off in the morning to school, and I just go up the mountain, and I just stay there as long as I need to. And that's where that's how I started mastering my stillness and my mindset, because I didn't do sit down meditation very well.
Yeah, that concept of mastering your mindset on a mountain, there's something attached to nature, you accepting yourself in that space, and then mastering just did something for my my throat, sort of kind of broadened, which is your acceptance, right, of leadership. You kind of like went like this. So it starts to sort of piece together. So from a title perspective, if I were you and we were working on something together, I would say, let's play with the idea of I mastered my mindset on a mountaintop. And then the story starts to piece together. Magazines, online publications are looking for 500 to 800 words. First person narrative, so you're using the word I. And it starts to look like a journey. It's a maze. If we're going to do those 5 points in which we talked about, your mindset, getting grounded, opening your heart, changing your finances or shame, that piece, and then your social life, those are 5 bullet points. If each of those bullet points were 100 words, your beginning paragraph, your opening paragraph could be 100 words, and your closing paragraph could be 100 words. So you start to dissect it, and then we start with the dissected puzzle piece, right? We have the overall theme, headline, your bullet points, start to piece it together, and now if you do this 100-word mark, 700 words, and that's your story.
I love that. Can I just ask you to pause for a second, because I want our listeners to make sure that they've got this.
Yeah.
So let's just come back to the 5 points, the nuggets. Yeah. And how we've done that. You've done that beautifully with me. So we're suggesting that they find their happy space, where as in mine's the mountain. What is theirs?
Yeah. Yes, and then what they've learned. So if they're let me skip for a second. Hang on. So a lot of the people watching this are enlightened entrepreneurs who are working with others to help them in some aspect of their life. Correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So their first piece could be tied to how they learned what they like to coach. So start with that theme of how they learned it or where they learned it. And then they're going to ask themselves, really, what are the key lessons that they've walked away from that particular theme within their life? So for me, I write a lot about storytelling. Obviously, I write a lot about intuition, meditation. Last year, I was on a fertility journey, so super open and public, and I wrote a lot about that. I love writing this concept of listicles because it's a low-hanging fruit, and magazines really want it. So I always start with the bigger theme. Happiness. I write a lot about happiness. How did I find my happiness? I journal. I dance. I meditate.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I love it.
Cool.
That's perfect.
Good.
So we've got 500 to 800 words. We've got an intro, if you like, of 100 words and an outro, just to opening and closing. And then we've got our bullet points, 100 words.
For each bullet point.
For each person.
Yes.
Spoken in the first person.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's great. And again, they'll want to make sure that they've got a strong bio and a clean website that they can include in their bio. So when they are published, this lands and starts to manifest new, bigger email lists and tribe and new opportunities.
So they also need some sort of autoresponder set up as well.
Yep.
And that doesn't have to be hard. That doesn't have to be elaborate. It's just a capture page.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. A little pop-up box, or I do sometimes in my bios, I'll lead people to an actual lead page where, free tips or something. But you want to make sure that this is working for you in every way possible. So again, we're setting infinite possibilities out into the universe through the law of attraction. And you taking action is going to result in an opposite or equal reaction, right? we still want to make sure that people can find us easily. So.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, you can only rely on so much.
Right.
And that is one downfall of a lot of spiritual people. They just trust that the universe does do a lot of it, but, we still have to do our part as well. We still have to be able to be found. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. So, yeah, that's very powerful.
I know.
So we came back to I mastered my mindset on the mountain.
I think that's so good. I love it. I really do. I see you with the walking stick on, I can't see the mountain. I can see the flats. There's like nothing, but it's really peaceful and there's like a warm breeze. I can feel that. So now it's where do you get that published? So we move into who's going to benefit from this stage of the publishing process. So who's your audience? Give me your ideal client avatar, if you will.
Okay. My ideal client avatar is souls that are awakening and emerging. Women, I tend to find myself women as well. But having said that, I've had a lot of men. My group is open to male and female entrepreneurs. I don't like to be exclusive because I know that we're all connected. So, I tend to find that mostly it's mums because I am a mum of teenagers. And generally it's the ones that have put their life on hold to raise the kids, and then they hit that point where it's like, oh, I now need to find me again because they've thrown everything into existing for their children.
The parent piece, I don't know if you noticed, but I just started to sway. That kind of happens when and then my throat will do something funny. So moms are definitely a big audience for you. And I get the sense that there's this peaceful energy. They're still searching, but they have so much responsibility, right? So we're making it easy for them to learn this bit by bit. So what came forward for me from an energetic perspective, there's two possibilities. The first one is mindbodygreen.com. And I think that's a big one for anyone watching this in your group. Mindbodygreen.com is an enlightened platform read by millions worldwide. So at the bottom of mindbodygreen.com, there is a contribute to us link. They give you very specific details and guidelines on how to submit a story to them. So they're looking for something that's already written. They want your bio, a headshot, and a catchy tagline, which we just did.
Yeah.
I mastered my mindset on the mountaintop. So how it works is once you write it, you click that button, that link, and then you just follow the process and you wait for them to publish it. If they publish it, you'll get an email back anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, and they're like, congratulations, here it is. The other one, though, that really pops out at me, particularly when you said parents, moms, is Thrive Global. It's Ariana Huffington's new platform.
Okay.
And they're looking for contributors. And so, and I think, I do not remember. Hang on, I'm pretty sure I have an email that we can give out to people. It's just contributors@thriveglobal.com.
Beautiful.
So those who are interested, check that out, thriveglobal.com. There's a well-being and a journal aspect to it. They're looking for this kind of work, mindfulness, meditation. Ariana Huffington is very into this, so I think they'd be supportive of this kind of story.
Yeah.
So same thing, you write it, you submit the story with your title of the publication as the subject line. Give them your bio, your headshots, and the story, and you wait and see.
Okay.
2 positive, energetic forces, though, looking for content like this. So I think you have a really good chance.
Well, as you say, and I believe that every person who's had hardship or troubles in their lives have been dealt them for a very good reason. And we collect them, we attract them. That's our lesson. That's why we're here, to learn that. And to be able to have someone like you to flip that around and turn that into a story and monetize our lessons, not only helps everyone else out there, but it helps turn our whole world into a positive experience.
I know. And it feels like this year, more than any other year, is, and I've been doing this for 20 years, there's something magical happening around storytelling in 2017. And when you look at world events, there's so much judgment. It's time for love. It's time for peace. It's time for connectiveness. It's time for empathy. And that literally only happens when we sit and we understand each other and we communicate with one another, which is what storytelling is all about. And so my purpose this year specifically is to help people embrace it, change it, move it, share it, so that this shift in the collective can start to happen.
I've got goosebumps from top to toe. And the goosebumps never lie. I feel that the message you have shared today, Carrie, is dynamic for those that are open to receive it. I'm excited. I'd like you to share with our viewers, our listeners, where they can find you if they would like you to walk with them to craft their story.
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is carrieseverson.com. I have a storytelling group called the Soulful Storyteller. They're more than welcome there. And then if they're interested in downloading some free tips to help them get started, it's carrieseversonwritingtips.com. I'm super simple to get a hold of.
Yeah, and from personal experience, one of the most delightful and gorgeous members of the community that...
you're so sweet.
No, it's a pleasure. I love it. And, had I not stepped out of my little hellhole when I did, I wouldn't have a community of thriving entrepreneurs or a podcast for that matter, and the opportunity to learn from people like yourself. So it is time to step up and shine.
Yep.
There's certainly a message here for anyone that feels like they're spinning their wheels. And if you've resonated deeply with Carrie and her teachings, don't waste another moment. Help her get your story out there, and you will help many, many others. That could well be the reason why you're here.
I love it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, Carrie, I'd love to extend a huge thank you to you for your time and your experience and expertise today, and for what you're doing for the women of the world.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. It was my pleasure.
My pleasure. So remember, you can connect with Carrie at Carrie Severson. That's CarrieSeverson.com. Everything's in the show notes, guys and girls. You can also connect with me, Michelle Reinhardt, the creator of Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. Come and join our community if you feel that resonates with you. Pardon me, I'm all tickly in the throat now too. I've obviously got something I need to get out there. With that, I will bid everyone a goodbye, and we'll see you next week. Carrie, thank you once again for joining us.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.